This Pokemon TCG Live deck uses only shiny Pokemon, and I'm going to see if I can win a battle with it in Arceus League. This deck uses the Charizard EX line, the Pidgeot EX line, and a Radiant Charizard as our Pokemon. The main idea of this deck is to get your Charizards and Pidgeots out quickly, so our trainers revolve around being able to use Rare Candy and TM Evolution. And then obviously for this deck, we are going to have our 10 Fire Energy. This deck is very similar to the standard Charizard EX deck, but unfortunately both Manaphy and Rotom V do not have shiny cards released, so they cannot be in this deck for the challenge. This might really hurt with Rotom V. If I get out to a slow start, I won't have any way to draw additional cards and get myself back up to speed. This deck is very versatile because it's important to get evolutions done early, but you are able to play from behind with the ability on Burning Darkness and Defiance Band, which means if your opponent has taken a bunch of prize cards and more prize cards than you are able to deal a ton more damage. I usually choose to go first with this deck, so I'm the first person who's able to evolve, and out of my starting hand, I get 2 Charmanders and 2 Rare Candies, so we are most of the way to being able to get some Charizard EXs right off the bat. I'm going to play both of the Charmanders down, and my opponent did not draw any basic cards in his first hand, so I get a sneak peek at his deck and get to draw a bonus card. He's using Gimme Ghoul, which is an interesting deck against what I have. Against Gholdengo EX, it's going to be even more important to jump out to an early start so I can stop him from building up energy cards. His starting Pokemon is going to be Origin Form Dialga V, so he's running Gholdengo EX and Origin Form Dialga V-Star. I draw a 3rd Rare Candy into my hand. I liked having 2, but now I need the Pokemon to evolve into rather than the Rare Candies. I'm going to use Buddy Poffin, and I only can get Pidgeys. Unfortunately, 2 of my 4 Charmanders are going to be in my prize cards, but for right now, that's all we can do for this turn. I'm going to hold off on applying any energy this turn. I never really have any problems with energy in this deck because of Infernal Rain on Charizard EX. Anytime you evolve into a Charizard EX, you can apply up to 3 Fire Energies to any Pokemon you'd like. Those Fire Energies also come from your deck, so I would still have the basic energy in my hand. My opponent just played Pokestop, which actually works out great for us since we need an Ultra Ball in order to draw a Pidgeot EX for our next turn. Since I have multiple Rare Candies, if I get an Ultra Ball, the plan will be to get Pidgeot EX first and then use Quick Search from Pidgeot EX to get Charizard. After playing Pokestop, my opponent bought in Gimme Ghoul and is now going to be building up as much energy as possible into his hand. Gholdengo EX is a Steel type with 260 health, and its attack deals 50 damage for every energy you discard from your hand. While normally Charizard would be great against these Steel types, unfortunately my Terastallized Charizard is actually a Dark type, so the only Fire type counter I really have against him is Radiant Charizard. Also, once my opponent takes at least 3 prize cards, my Charizard EX will be able to one-shot his Gholdengo EX. I drew Nest Ball to start my second turn, and I'm going to use it right away to get Radiant Charizard out onto the board. I only have Radiant Charizard plus 2 Pokemon evolution lines, which means I'm very limited on what I can play. Now, using Pokestop, this is huge. I got an Ultra Ball along with a switch, but the main point is Ultra Ball, which I can now use to first get Pidgeot EX, and then obviously use Pidgeot EX's ability Quick Search, like I said, to get a Charizard EX as well. This means that in the very first turn that you are able to evolve Pokemon, I will have 2 Pokemon that are fully evolved. As I complete this turn, some of you might be wondering how much this all shinies deck actually cost me, and the answer might surprise you. As far as in-game currency goes, I actually spent around 12,500 credits on all of these shiny Pokemon. I was not able to pull a single one of them out of packs. As for how I got the credits, around 2,000 of those were through playing through this entire season. However, the other over 10,000 credits were actually from code cards I had saved up for forever. You see, I've been collecting Pokemon cards for years, and I actually had hundreds of code cards saved in a single box in case I ever started playing Pokemon TCG Live. In a redemption of over 400 packs, I collected over 2,000 cards and almost 9,000 credits. I also had about 150 other code cards that I scanned and got another few thousand credits from those, meaning I was able to afford most of this deck just using cards I had saved up. Ending my turn off with a Burning Darkness to deal a ton of damage to my opponent's Origin Form Palkia V, which he is likely going to evolve right away into a V-Star. Even if he does though, I have still done enough damage already that in my next turn I will be able to take him out. I did have a relatively lucky start to this game, but as you can see, just 2 turns in, I am already in the front seat. My opponent is using Ultra Ball here, and he pulls an Origin Form Palkia V-Star, which he's going to evolve right now. While my opponent tries to figure out a way to even up the playing field, I want to let you guys know that if you go to rogueenergy.com, you can now use code ONLYSHINIES for 10% off your order for the best energy, hydration, and chill drinks out there. If you aren't sold on Rogue Energy, you can get a few samples for absolutely free of just about any flavor you want, so I definitely recommend you at least try that out. My opponent's Origin Form Palkia V-Star officially attacks, and it is now my turn. I am going to be able to take out his Palkia V-Star at the end of this turn, and I pull another Charizard EX right off the bat, and we're going to be getting our second Charizard EX into play. Using Infernal Rain yet again, we're going to be attaching more fire energies to both the new Charizard EX and probably our Radiant Charizard is what I am feeling, just in case it comes down to it, though I am hoping that we are going to be able to win this game pretty quickly. Using Quick Search again now on this turn, I am hoping that my Ace Spec card, Hero's Cape, is going to be in play and not one of my prize cards. It gives plus 100 health to my Charizard EX, which I found to be super helpful. Unfortunately, it is not in play. At this point, there's not a lot for me to pull from Pidgeot EX, but I do think Switch will be helpful in case I need to get this Charizard EX out of play and bring in my other one. With that said and done though, I have nothing really else to do during this turn. I'm going to attack yet again with Burning Darkness with my Charizard EX, take out my opponent's Origin Form Palkia V-Star. He now only has one card remaining out in play, and I'm going to take two prize cards. They end up both being Charmander, which is interesting. There was missing two in the beginning. We get them both now. Let's see what my opponent has in play. Even if he is able to get Gholdengo EX into play here, he's going to have a long road back. He's going to use Pokestop, ends up getting him only Superior Energy Retrieval, and it discards one of his Gholdengo EXs. That is very helpful for me. He's going to use Call for Family. Let's see what he's able to pull out. Likely a Gradient Greninja. Yep, right there, Radiant Greninja, and it is now my turn. The card we draw into our hand is an Ultra Ball, which is very nice. We can start building for a third Charizard EX, and we get our opponent to concede. They see there's no way out, and the only Shinies deck is able to win. Let me know what other decks I should try out. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.